Hey y'all, what's up? Chad Wright coming at you here once again on the channel, Team Righteous, and I am headed to the gas station with this 2025 Toyota Camry XSE. And this is my personal car. As I've said in one of my past videos before, I'm not a professional reviewer, so I'm not the greatest at, talking about the car and the features and everything else. I can just talk about my car and what I can tell you about it. But I'm going to be putting this thing through the paces. I drive it a lot. I've already got 2,200 miles on it, so I've already filled up the tank a few times. I already got an idea of what the fuel mileage is going to be, so I'm going to try to keep up with that for y'all, and I can give you some of the first fill-ups that I've done and what we've gotten on it so far. So we're going to see what the miles per gallon we're getting here on this XSE model, and the reason why I mentioned the trim is because the LE trim does get the best according to Toyota, and then the other trims all get the same somehow. So we're gonna have to see what we're gonna get, and then maybe I can find out for certain if I can ever drive an LE exactly why it gets better fuel mileage. Everybody has these different theories. Nobody ever touches on the most important thing, I think, is the rolling resistance of the tires. I believe the LEs have a better, lower rolling resistance tire on it than the other trims do. I know these tires right here are not low roller resistance tires, so they're not going to be ideal for trying to help fuel mileage. So anything that we can do to improve fuel mileage will probably come from once we get better tires that have a higher rolling or less rolling resistance than what these do. So anyways, what we got going on right now though is, like I said, I bought the car brand new, had 10 miles on it. It was filled up with gas. I believe they had just filled it up, but it probably idled around a lot more that time, and it was breaking in. So I drove it and put all the miles on it. Very first time I stopped and got fuel, it had 440 miles on it. So I stopped, got gas, 430 miles from where they had filled it up at. I assume this is the best of my knowledge. I can only go by that, but it took 10.68 gallons to fill that up, and we got 40.3 miles per gallon on my very first fill up. So the very first tank of gas got 40.3 miles per gallon. Not terrible at all for for a car. Whenever anything I've driven in the past has definitely gotten worse fuel mileage than that. So it can only get better from here, and it does. So from there we go into I drove it for the rest of the week. Took my daughter to school, had to run around town and stuff, get the tag for the car and everything else. So I was doing a lot of running in the meantime, and this was over the course of 2 weeks for the first fill-ups. After that, they start coming really fast because I started driving the car way more. But this weekend, so this weekend, whenever I was getting ready to go back to Nashville, for those of y'all that don't know, I do RideShare, so I do a lot of driving, a lot of miles, and that's the reason why I'm able to get all this many fill-ups on this car already. So I dropped her off at school and filled the car up. So my first fill-up there was after driving 467.9 miles, took 11.03 gallons, and we got 42.4 miles per gallon. So it's definitely gotten better. We picked up 2 miles per gallon from our very first fill up to the second fill up. All right, so as I was saying there, after I filled up down here, I got the 11.03 gallons fuel down here where I live at and around North Alabama area. I drove from here up to Nashville, Tennessee, and usually, like I said, once I get up there, it takes me 4 or 5 trips or whatever, and I've got to fill up the car again. In the 2014 Toyota Corolla I was driving before. With this car here, getting gas at the same place, driving the same amount and everything, I was actually able to get up there, and I was like, hey, I still got plenty of fuel. Let's just keep driving until I need fuel later on. So I drove it, and I drove pretty much all night before I stopped and got gas. So I would say from down here to up there, probably right around 200 miles was put on it before I got up there, and then I drove another 259 miles or so once I got up there. So I was able to drive 459 miles, and a lot of that was actually highway miles, doing doing the speed limit going down the interstate or going up the interstate back towards Nashville. And so, you know, like I said, the first 200 of that was, you know, the highway. So I actually had a lot of highway miles on there. And then once I got there, the other half, or the little bit greater amount, the 259 miles, was in the city. So at the end of the night, though, I had to stop and get gas. It was starting to run low. Got down about as low as I could get comfortably. So the 11 gallons was a little bit uncomfortable whenever I got to that point, because the light had been on for a little bit before I stopped and got gas. This one here, like, the light had just come on and I whipped up in there and got gas. So 459.2 miles, 10.404 gallons, and it was 44.1 miles per gallon on that right there. So fuel mileage has went up again, which is good. So I'm thinking, hey, the car's getting better. We should be even better tomorrow. We'll see how it does. So the next day, I drive all night. So this is on Saturday. So I drove a little bit that night on that gas there. I still had, I think, another 40 or 50 miles that I put on it that night. And then the next day I got up and started driving, and ended up driving a total of 461.9 miles. And it took me 10.53 miles per gallon, or 10.53 gallons to fill the car back up, for a total of 43.9 miles per gallon. So we lost a little bit. We lost 0.2 of a mile per gallon. It looked like more at first when I first saw it, because I'm like, well, it lost a mile per gallon, but realistically it only lost like 0.2 of a mile per gallon. So I also had somebody else ask me, was the car being accurate? Was the car being accurate whenever you look at the dash, you know, compared to the actual fuel mileage that you're getting? And I didn't take a picture of it whenever I first got it, but I did the last time, and I'm going to show y'all that image here as well, where the fuel mileage that I got between, so I didn't check it the night that I got up there, but the next night whenever I filled it up, the 43.9 miles per gallon, I did fill it up there and check it, and it was a little bit off. So on that one right there, the dash said that it was 45.5 miles per gallon, as you can see in this picture here that I'm showing you. So that right there would be off by, you know, 1.6 miles per gallon. That's a little bit off, but I never did reset it before. Who knows if the numbers were affected by that or not. So this time, whenever I got gas this last time, I did reset it. So I reset that. I reset my miles to see how many miles I got as well. And we're going to check now to see if it's accurate on this one. I've got 46 miles to go on this tank, but that's really been pushing it if I drive from here back home and then back down here to fill back up again tomorrow. So I just want to go ahead and fill the car up now. It's the first time I filled it up a little bit early, but I mean, I'm not really filling it up that much early. I'm just filling it up in the last 40 miles that it's got. So basically it's got about a gallon before it hits empty. So anyways, we're about to pull up here in the gas station, fill it up, and we'll see how much the fuel mileage is now going forward. All right, y'all, so we're gonna whip up here in this Shell gas station. And for some of y'all that y'all may not be from the South and notice, because I hear this a lot up in Nashville whenever people get in the car, is we don't have tags in the front of our cars. But anyways, I'm about to fill this car up here. Let's see what kind of fuel mileage we can get with this thing now. So to recap on that with there as well, so the one that got a little bit better fuel mileage had like half highway miles and then a little bit more city. The second one, where it got like 0.2 of a mile per gallon less, I actually had a good bit of highway runs on that one. So those trips that day on that Saturday were a lot more longer trips. I went down to Franklin a couple of times, which is like 30 minutes away from Nashville. I had to go like out west of Nashville and pick somebody up, and then come back through Nashville and then go back northwest of Nashville to drop them off up in Jolton. So I made a lot of longer trips and a lot of highway trips. So the highway trips seem to be a little bit harder on it, which is where the hybrids want to shine at, is in the city, doing a lot of city driving. So we're going to see if that still holds up though. So on that Sunday, my last day that I was up there, I drove drove a little bit, didn't put too many miles on it, so I've been driving around here some as well to try to get the miles done and get to be able to fill up again and come in here to pick my daughter up and stuff. So it's gonna have probably about the same as what Saturday had on as far as highway miles go, and I did drive back, but I did drive back a different way as well. I didn't come down the interstate, I come down the Natchez Trace Parkway. For those of y'all don't know, the speed limit is like 50 to 55 mile per hour, so we were doing that speed all the way down from up there in Tennessee all the way here. So I was doing that there, so the fuel mileage actually might have went up a little bit. According to the gauge, it was going up, but it's went back down since then, since I've been driving, because I've been driving back here on the highway and doing 65 to 70 mile per hour here. So anyways, I'm about to fill this thing up. Let's see what kind of fuel mileage we're getting. All right, y'all, so just got our gas there, and we had on the car 438.7 miles. So like I said, I still had a little bit of ways to go. And it took 10.075 gallons to fill it up. So that there brought our fuel mileage down a little bit more. So we got 43.5 miles per gallon. So it looks like we're going to be in the 43.5 to 44 miles per gallon range. And as well, I checked the dash again, and let's see here. I'm fixing to show it to y'all here. It is 45.1 miles per gallon is what it's showing. So showing 45.1 miles per gallon, it's about 1.5 miles per gallon off compared to what it actually was. And I reset it whenever I got fuel. So I reset it when I got fuel, reset the mileage when I got fuel, my trip meter. So everything was reset there whenever I got it, and now this right here is what we ended up with. So in conclusion, with 2,200 rough miles on this car here, about ready for an oil change. We're about to get that there done soon. We're going to change our own oil, send that off to a laboratory as well to get an analysis on it. But as of now, first few fill ups, like I said, it looks like we found where it's going to be kind of leveling out at. So like I said, it looks like it's gonna be right around 43.5 to 44 miles per gallon. And some of that may change, like I said, but I definitely think it's broken in now. It's got over 2,200 miles on it. And like I said, the tires got 2,200 miles on them. It doesn't seem to be getting any better, even though it did show when I was coming the other night down the trace doing 55 mile per hour, did show that I was getting better fuel mileage. But we'll just have to see, you know, how it works out anymore. So like I said, it did show better then, but it come back down once I started driving on the highway here. Anyway, so that's going to conclude this video though. I appreciate all of y'all. Like I said, like the video, share it out to your friends. Anybody that's looking to get a Toyota Camry, XSE, or any other trim level, for sure, share this video with them if they're concerned about what kind of fuel mileage it's going to get. I don't drive the most conservative whenever I do drive. Now, when I'm up there doing RideShare, I kind of focus more on it, especially when I'm in the town. When I'm in town, I definitely focus on staying in the hybrid zone, trying to use the hybrid motors as much as I can. But once you're on the highway, you know, if I got to get around somebody, I'm going to get around them. I don't want to sit around and lag behind nobody and get stuck behind them. So I will go around somebody, and I try to get around them as quick as possible because I don't want to be sitting next to somebody who drives slow and dangerously. So anyways, appreciate all of y'all. Like I said, share this video out with your friends, and y'all have a good one.